Hajime everybody. So now we're switching into today, kyo, which is today in Japanese. I spoke about paint and art and stuff because I'm trying to get this piece done, and since I'm working from home and this is part of my business, painting at least, and to show people I'm able to paint and do the art and all that stuff, I'm kind of switching from the music to the art today, because I see that there are a lot of people that are interested in the crafty stuff. The music is useful to understand because I'm not just gearing towards people within the crafty art world. I'm branching out. And as we know about the whole Tupac Shakur story, right? And I had mentioned in another video that Puffy was going to be the next in line to have a discussion. And we had the R. Kelly case, and I'm not going to get into a whole discussion on the backgrounds, but I think people know what they know. I come from that generation when it all went down, back in the 80s, back in the 90s. So I know the industry. I've also been in and amongst the people within the industry, and that's why I've branched out into developing my own thing, because I don't want to put myself in a situation that I can't get myself out of. And money creates greed, and greed creates all sorts of things that go on. So in my world, it's a peaceful world, and I try to keep it that way, and I don't want drama, and the music industry is drama. So if you're going to do music as a female, I do highly recommend having your own studio, because it creates a safety net for yourself, and you don't have to panic about dealing with I need to record a track and I need to find a producer, and then the producer asks you to do things that you don't want to do. So that is the music industry in a nutshell, and it really is how it is, because I've seen it for myself. I know people who have worked in Sony in the past, in South Africa, and I have met people within the industry, and they're ruthless. They're ruthless. It's not as what it seems to be on the outside. You just don't know until you've been on the inside to see what's going on. And that's how it goes. So I've kind of branched into my own vision because, hey, I'm in control of my space and I don't have to worry about all the other dramas that happen. So today we are doing this art piece. I have yet to finish it. I started it. There's a lot of work that needs to be done here. It's a larger piece. I broke apart a board that I really wanted and the frame that came with it, so I wanted to do a car. I don't know, I might change the color again to red, because I do like red Ferraris. This is a Ferrari. It's a 2050 TR Testarossa. It's a classic piece. I'm doing it off of there. I'm creating it from a grid. I didn't make a grid. I sort of eyeballed this one. And right now, so as you can see, that was the music industry is a very fickle and disrupting and heart-wrenching, and it's even worse if you're younger and you don't know what you're getting yourself into. So you want to make sure that you're protected, and the only way you can protect yourself is to have your own. Like Billie Eilish did it right with her brother. That was a very smart move on their behalf. It wasn't opening. Obviously, it's been a while since I've opened it. So this is watercolor. I don't use oil paint anymore. I used to when I was studying. Obviously, that's one of those things that you need to use when you're getting an education in the arts. Ooh, this is now dripping out. Oh gosh. It's gonna be a little disastrous. Okay, so I have water here. I'm going to use this. Let's clean this up. I know I don't have anything on, so I have to be careful. Even though it is watercolor, it does get on stuff, and you could cause problems it's not as bad as if you're using acrylic or, see, I got it on my hands now. But it's, this is white. You always need a lot of whites. I'm gonna make gray in the background, a light gray, but I need a lot of white for this if I'm gonna do this. and a little splash of black. I'm only using, in theory, 3 colors for this piece. So I'm doing it my way because you can see that this whole industry has become a total disaster. It has been going on for many, many years. And I just think that, you know, the safer bet is to do it slowly and build it up naturally. You don't want to pull strings if the strings are going to cause you harm, right? In the end, Tupac is no longer with us. Something happened. We know this already. I'll put the video of that discussion in the clip later on. But that's what happened. I have to make the car lighter. This is why I'm making it gray right now. And it is gray up there. So it's, you know, I just feel as if people don't understand. They try to be cool and they have a talent and they're gifted and all that stuff. And in the end, you're putting yourself in a situation that you might not be able to get out of because of other people's greed, and they want your talent, and the talent can make the money, and then other things come with the talent, and then there's strings to be pulled. It's real. I know that's how the industry works. I've seen it. I've been there. I didn't like what I saw. I wasn't happy, and I was very uncomfortable in certain situations, and I did not in the United States, in South Africa. The United States is a different kettle of fish, but it has the same people, the United States into South Africa. So those musicians also know each other. Make no mistake. You know, I don't know what young women are having to go through to move along in the industry, but I know how it was. And I am not prepared to put myself in that situation again. And so I live a life of calmness, and I might not be making a fortune of money at the moment, but at least I have the right sense of mind. My mind is in the right place. I'm not, you know, I'm not pressurizing myself or other people to do things they don't want to do. I know that I'm doing it for the right reasons. I bought my own equipment for the mere purpose of me not needing to have to ever go to a recording studio. I don't have to go in if I don't want to. I don't have to pay somebody. And if I don't have the money, I don't have to do things to pay back the person who lent me the studio space. I don't need to do any of that. I have my own space. And that is how I've put it out. And I think for women out there specifically, don't forget it is Women's History Month. It will be over soon. This is a good time to recap and rethink how you see yourself in the future, whether you're a little bit younger or you're of my age or older. You want to be secure. You don't want to feel uncomfortable. I don't like feeling uncomfortable. I felt uncomfortable for years. And when I was younger, I was a lot thinner, and people could take me for a ride any day because I was gullible, right? I was gullible because I listened to people and I believed them. And in reality, I should never have believed them because none of it was true. So, and you know, a lot of men in the industry don't want the women to do it for themselves because, and then if they do, they kind of push you out of the industry, which is what more or less what happened here, is that you think for yourself and they can't make, you know, they can't do those stupid moves on you, and then you don't get taken for a ride, and then they can't do anything. So they can't make money off of you. So you can make money off of you, but nobody else can, and I think that is the way to do it. I wouldn't want it any other way. Look at what happened to, look at all these musicians. Look at all the people that are trapped in the industry. That's exactly what I was saying. This is the proof. This is the living proof that this is indeed what's happening. It is happening, guys. The music industry is problematic. It's good in some ways, but there are some real problems. If you're trying to get to the top, be prepared to do things that you don't want to do. And I am not prepared to do that. I am prepared to do it my way. And I feel as if my music is more suitable. It's not hip hop. It's not R&B. I can do beats. but it's more suitable for fashion. I would rather have my music used for fashion shows, or maybe I put on a fashion show like I've done before and use my music for fashion shows. You know, it's not, my approach is different than another person in the industry. It's not always about rap. Maybe I've had a vision on where my music is going versus what other people want your music to go. I'm not mainstream music. The stuff that I do is not going to be mainstream. I don't want to be mainstream, because then you put yourself in this disastrous situation that all these young musicians have gotten themselves into. He had brought up something. Yeah. The NFL game. You can go deeper. I don't want to go deeper because I don't want to put myself into a predicament and everybody talks about it because it's like the thing to talk. I am talking about it now, but I'm putting my mind in a different place. You can see that I am at peace. I am in calm. I'm in a calm state. Break it up. I am not using anything. I don't believe in medication. I don't believe in the other stuff. I believe that your body can heal itself. I'm a little bit more Buddhist than other people because of how I was raised. I was raised in Asia. My mom's also Buddhist, part Anglican. I mean, I think she's Anglican, but she does have Buddhist beliefs. So that is very good to know that I have a family that supports that. And I'm glad that I had that door opened to be allowed to choose what religion to believe in. My husband is Cambodian, so he's also Buddhist. We take our shoes off in our place. He does on occasion, he does his meditation or chanting. You know, we live a simple, humble life, and I don't think that I would change that for the world than to put I don't want to be put into a situation where greed and money have become the essentials of life, right? It's not always the best approach. You know, you live fast, you die young, right? That's how it really is, isn't it? That's just how I see it right now. And then you can do stuff like this. You know, you want to take a break from your music, you do a little bit of art. Now, I don't know if everybody does art, but this can be that take a breather, go back to your music, focus on something else for a little bit, and then get back to the song. Let the song breathe like wine. Wine, you have to think through a song. Let it breathe for a second. I want to do the Ghostbusters next. You're seeing what I'm doing throughout the day. Today is a painting day. I mean, I have to kind of decide how my days are going to be because I work for myself. I should actually be doing Poshmark. Oops, got a bit of blue in there. It's okay. We'll just work on that. So I'm going to cover the whole top section gray. The bottom is also a little gray, but I'm going to lighten up the car in a bit. I just need to get that contrast going. And the easel that I have, what's standing on is called an easel. Is an easel. Oops. It's a portable easel, meaning it folds and I don't have to just have it up and leave it up. And this is, so I don't have to hire a painter to paint a painting for me. I can quite easily paint a painting that I can eventually put. And I have other beautiful, my other Ferrari paintings are gone. My family wanted some of them, and it's just, yeah. See, once you have nice stuff, people fight over it, and in the end, you don't even get anything. So now I'm just painting for the sake of painting. I mean, if somebody buys stuff, great. If nobody buys stuff, that's okay. But I paint so I can so I don't have to worry about buying an art piece. I can make a beautiful art piece. And I wanted to do a whole bunch of huge car paintings. That was my dream. So if I had a studio one day, I would have my own Ferrari paintings in the space, like a huger space, right? This is just a starting point. I wasn't prepared. My parents have a big house, and I've lived in big houses, but none of them we owned. My parents own their house, but that's their dream. My dream is not being in South Africa and living in the United States. So I'm back in the United States, and as I said yesterday, I started over again. Like, I've started over again 50 million times. It's not an unknown thing. So I'm so used to just starting over again. It looks like I'm not going anywhere, but each time I start over again, I get better. Like, I don't have to, like, now I own my own stuff. People are not coming in and stealing things. I don't have to worry about producers trying to take advantage of me. That's the difference. You learn as you go along. As you grow into a business person or a direction that you're wanting to go in, you start learning the skills of life. These are life skills. And you learn what you like and what you don't like. And you stay away from the people you think are going to be harmful in your life, and you create the space that you want. Now, I personally want to make sure that I get the YouTube thing right, because this would be my way forward. I like the idea of international portability. I like the fact that I could move YouTube around and not worry about, this would be my first time I'd have a job where I'd be able to, if, say this happens and it works out, where I can put it in my pocket and I can travel with the job anywhere in the world. And for me, that is a big thing. I think it's very important. I think you need to know in what direction. I'm doing it because I know that my chances of making it work for life as a lifetime path, this YouTube thing might be best for me at this time. I'm 44. I had a job. I've had lots of jobs. They were only part-time jobs. They were never full-time jobs. I don't know why I never had a full-time job. I worked in the embassy. And this is the closest I've come to creating. I'm creating the full-time job. You see the difference? I don't have to beg people for a job. I'm now making the job happen for myself. And I think that is an important part of growing up, and also understanding where you can take your business skills. Do you have business skills? I keep going back to that. You want to be the person to create the business, but you don't want to take the path that Diddy took. Like, that was the wrong path. Like, just because he started the record company, right? Bad Boy Records, doesn't mean to say that he didn't pay his due. Now he's paying back. Hopefully he, something, justice for those who deserve it in his situation. I think justice needs to be served. And those who have wrongfully done stuff to people need to be, this is the time everybody's, they got R. Kelly. It's now P Diddy's time, or Puff Daddy, or whatever you want to call him. He's changed his name so many times, it's just like, why? Why would you want to change your name? It just sounds like you're hiding something, dude. It's like you're totally hiding something. Like, there's no question about it. Like, we all know you're hiding something. So, yeah, it's just saying, start a business, but do it the right way. Don't do it the wrong way. Look at what happened to, you don't want to do it the wrong way. You don't want to get yourself into a mess that you can't get yourself out of. Do it right. Start small, build it up. That's how it should be. It should always be, and it should always be under your decision. If you're going to be the business person, be the one to have control of it, over it. Oh, and it turns out, speaking of musicians, the band I was trying to, or they were trying to get me to work with them. They weren't trying to work with me. Turns out that I'm glad I asked, that the band, or the person who was trying to get the group together, was trying to get everybody to pay for studio time. I was like, well, why are you trying to get studio time? No, you hire, this is how it goes with events and projects. If you are hiring somebody to do something for you, and you have a goal as to what you're thinking that has to happen, then that goal, whatever it is, you need to pay the people that you're bringing in. You don't have those people paying for your project. That's not how it works. I've done plenty of projects, so when I put projects together, I've always paid people, whether it's for students, like music students, I did a video for them, and then they would always get like the video clips, and they worked hard on a piece that they wanted, or something. It's not, they always got something out of it, whether, you know, and then if it was an adult, I would always pay the grown-up or whoever it was involved through music or whatever it is they needed, right? So I was, that's how business works. You have to make sure that if you're going to bring people in, you need to have the money to pay them. Don't ask people for money for your project, because it just sounds like something is up. Like there's like a scam going on. There's a plan behind the scene that you don't know. I mean, it could be anything. And for me, like that's just, I'm not like, why am I paying for somebody else's like project? I mean, if they're going to work with me, why don't they hire me and pay me? That's the point. They pay me to do the work. They say, okay, we need this, and done in this amount of timing. And you can record it in your place so you don't have to pay for, like, I was like, it's not my project. You're hiring people to do things. You pay the person to do the work. Like you don't ask the person for the money. That already in itself gave me the whole, like, I was like, you see, now that's why I don't work with a lot of people. I just know the industry too well. I know that people play games. I know that this is like part of the process. And I'm putting my foot down. I'm like, no, this is not how I work. Like, I have my own space. I don't need them. I can do it for myself. And that's what I'm doing right here. I'm doing it for myself. So the brush stroke becomes, I'm just going diagonally, right? Just plain brush strokes. Going back to the art. Just brush strokes. Diagonal brush strokes. Just one way. I'm not cross-hatching anything. No cross-hatching. Just diagonal stuff. Okay. Now we're going to lighten up the car, because I feel the car needs to be lightened up. So besides, as you can see, I'm now using the keyboard section for my paints. I need to be careful with the water though. Any electronics and water is probably a bad bet, so we're gonna leave it there. Hopefully it doesn't go crazy. So we're gonna lighten this up. Okay, so I'm gonna lighten this up. We're going to go lighter in sections like here. We're gonna go lighter here. There's a lot of light here. Let's go even lighter. My brush is a little wet, which is going to cause a little bit of a hiccup. Okay. And then this part over here, you can see that there's more over here that needs to be added. Like there. So yeah, no, I guess the band thing is not gonna, I'm telling you, this whole music thing, people want your skills, but they're not prepared to pay for your skills. And that's what I try keep, you know, I keep saying, you know, branch out into diverse types of things, because sometimes you find yourself in situations where people are going to say, yeah, let's work on a project, and in the end, they're not going to pay you. So keep your mind open for situations that could eventually happen like that. It's happened to me a lot. People want, but they're not prepared to pay. So in the end, I get taken for a ride. Speaking, excuse the pun, but yeah, it's true. You get taken for a ride. I don't want to be there anymore. I'm putting my foot down. This is called putting my foot down. I say no more often. The more I say no, the harder it is for people to try to take me down. And the angrier people get. It's so sad. But you know what? I'm keeping myself in a position where I don't have to depend on people, and I can be self-sufficient. That's all it is. You are self-sufficient. I don't have to have anybody paint for me. I don't have to have anybody build anything for me. I don't need a producer to produce my music. I mean, it would be nice to work with musicians, but they have to be honest. A lot of musicians are not honest, and they will not let you move forward in the direction you want to go in, because they want to be the popular ones, right? They want to be the ones that are successful. They don't want you to succeed. So the only way for you to succeed is to do it on your own. At least that's what I've learned. That's what I've learned over the years of experiencing the industry. It's just how it is. It's very unfortunate, but that's how the world works, I guess, hey? So you just keep your head up and keep going and focus on your goals. I don't know if anybody needs to hear this, but I am saying it because this is a bit of a pep talk. And don't be pressurized into putting yourself in a situation where you don't want to be. If you don't want to be in a situation, make it happen for yourself. Put it together on your own. It might take a little bit longer, but you know what? At least you have your mind, and you're not going to go crazy for like forever. You're going to be feeling more secure in yourself and more independence. The independence is important. Sometimes when you're feeling restricted, that could be a big problem. So when you have no control, and if you lose control, look at Michael Jackson. Oh, and we think that P Diddy might have something to do with Michael Jackson's case too. So it's a circle. And there's a lot of things that go on that we've started, the doors have started opening up on these discussions. I'm not going to bring it up, but not too much of it. I think people just think it's cool to be a musician, whereas they don't know that there are things behind the industry that people are not aware of. And it's very disturbing when you find out what's really going. If you've seen it for yourself, you know what's going on. It's happened, like I said, it has happened to me before. I try not to discuss it. I have been traumatized. I don't want to go back there. I don't want to go back there. So if you don't want to go back somewhere, you find other ways to get towards the direction you go in. Or where you're going. Get to the direction you want to go in. And if it's going solo, then working solo is the way to go. And there are ways to go about making it happen and learning different skills in order for the flying solo to really be anything of growth, right? So it's already lightening up. I don't know if you can see the contrast or the difference, but I'm going to lighten this up again, the back end. I'm just getting everything, removing, just getting the colors out here. Getting the colors out. Okay, and then I'll stop here for now. I'm going to go live in a few moments. And you guys can watch me do like this live in a few moments, as I said. This part was wrong. I think I painted that wrong at one point. Oops. Not perfect. And I have various brushes here. So I can see I'm using literally 3 or 4 different colors. The red was just one of those random colors because that's the color of the chair or the seat. But there's still more to be done here. So I'm going to just do a little bit more. Let me just lighten this up over here. It is a little dark, mind you. And you can see it's like I'm layering over the layers. So I'm adding white over whatever I've done here to lighten it up even more. And watercolor is very different than oil. Oil paint, you can go straight in and paint over it, and then it's going to be like lighter. But with watercolor, that's oil paint. But with watercolor, it takes layers to get the consistency, and I like that about it because it's not toxic to your body, and B, you can build it up slower, and it has a better effect. I personally think it's interesting to see, and this is on board. I'm not even using paper for this particular painting. This is board. Most people would generally put it over on paper, but in my case, I'm just using a board that I had. Okay, so there's a lot more to be done, but you can see, Can I move that a little bit more? I don't know. It's a lot more. And it's always, you know, when you're doing a painting, try not to have it on a table. I've started teaching my student that too. Like, put it on an easel or stand. Standing is always good when you're doing a painting. I'm standing today. Because when you're sitting down and doing a painting, you can't see the depth and contrast. If it's too flat, if you're going to paint it up. Have it standing. Have it standing. So I'm gonna leave the conversation for now. I thought that today was a day of discussion and assessing how the music industry works, because we know that the music industry has things that have happened that are not safe, that are not as... You have to be cautious, you know, whether you're male or female. In this case, it doesn't matter, because Puff Daddy did things to both, which is atrocious. So, you know, I mean, you just have to be careful, and it could be anybody that's targeted. So my answer, as somebody who's experienced this lifestyle in the past, is to build it up for yourself. Create your own space. Find ways to it doesn't have to be the music, as I said. Find ways to make it happen for yourself. Don't get pressured into needing the money. You might not have money to start with. Needing the money to start developing or getting into the circles because they have the money. That's where the mistake is. People think that they need to go towards the money. No, you don't need to. It's gonna, like I said, it's gonna take a bit longer, but in the end, it will protect your sanity. You won't have to go to therapy or rehabilitation and all those things, because you've taken control of your life. That's the important part. Okay, and I'm gonna love you and leave you guys here. Arigatou gozaimashita, matashita sayonara, and jane bye-bye. And you can see I'm also doing the art. So I love cars, as I said. This is just one of them. I have other ones that I've worked on I no longer have because everybody wanted them. So now we are left with none. So I'm starting a new one, which is why I'm doing this. So I have one for myself, and that's why I'm doing this, because now I need a piece of my own. Okay, thank you again. I'll speak to you guys in the next one.